So friends, we got another late night edition of Auto Repairs with Nick at Hood Rats. Tonight I got my next door neighbor's 2016 Toyota Rav4. This thing is a rocket ship, guys. It is just a 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated engine, but holy cow, it flies and it goes around corners like a race car. I just came down the little side streets that get out to this property, and we're right on some foothills. You get some nice swooping windy roads, and dude, this thing's fun to drive. I want one. But back to the nature at hand. This is a little quick project I'm doing tonight to make some side hustle money, and it is a transmission flush. So let's get it up on the lift and let's check out how this thing works. Okay, now that we're up in the air, like we just don't care, let's get underneath this thing and see where the drain plug is. Oh, but first, guess what? We gotta take off a splash guard. I got 99 problems and a splash guard is one. I do not like taking these off. There's usually 30 different fasteners holding them on, but thankfully we got the lift so I can see them all pretty good. I'll holler out at all the different types there are, and you guys doing this at home, using this as a how-to, just use your eyes. You don't need me to pinpoint all this crap for you. There's one. Push clips, plastic, usually break when they get brittle. I have this pry tool right here to get them out. Push clip, pry tool. Okay, now we got some 10mm bolts. Actually, 10mm machine screws. Whoa! Hats off to you, Toyota. Only 2 different types of fasteners. That's pretty good. That beats out Honda by a long shot. And Audi. Thank you. Okay, just for the rest of you guys. Then there were a couple of 10mm bolts in, so not much, guys. All in all, maybe 10 fasteners. We got the transmission oil pan and drain plug. We're gonna take this thing out and we're gonna drain it into a clean pan. That's one of my favorite things to do, is drain into a clean pan and refill with that same amount. I have my oil catch can and then a fairly clean, I don't know how many quarts this holds, 7-quart drain pan. We'll hope that does the trick, because if not, we're going to be having to guess on how much we lost. I can't tell, guys. Man, that sure feels like it wants to strip. So I'm just putting a little pressure on it as I hit. Oh, there we go. Okay. How dirty is the fluid? Ooh, that's pretty gross. Okay, pretty much just dripping now. Here's what we got in the pan. And it doesn't look horrible. It doesn't smell great, but I've seen worse, and it shifted pretty darn good, so I think we'll be okay, guys. Let's move on to taking that pan off. Okay, now we just have a bunch of 10mm bolts we need to take off this pan. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave these ones on this edge and take almost everything out over here, so that when it drains and falls, it falls that way and dumps it out towards the back. So check this out. I only have these 2 bolts in right now. Everything else is out. I'm gonna crack them loose, just like that. And then I'll get a screwdriver, stick it right here, and crack that open a little. Okay, we're mobile, I'm showing you. Got that back one out, now we're really starting to mean business. So, let's do this one gently. And there you go, that's what I'm talking about, guys. Let gravity work for you. Well, find that later. See? Let gravity work for you, not against you. Now what you can do is ever so slightly back these guys out a little bit more. Or all the way. So that one's all the way out. And this one right here, we'll just do a hair. So that should be pretty much all of it. Now what you'll do is you'll support the pan with one hand on this side and take that bolt out, which I can't do holding this, so I'll set you down. There's still a good amount of fluid in there, I can feel it. Take the bolt out and slowly bring her down. There's what I'm talking about. See? Not only is there a lot of fluid, but there's that little stick I was talking about. So that's how we're going to be filling it. Not too shabby. Filter time. Okay, when you take this filter off, it's going to lose fluid, so be ready to catch it. And it's going to be messy. There are your 2 bolts holding that filter on right there. 2 10 mils. The dripping is slowed substantially, so now I'm going to start hitting it with brake clean. Mostly on the mating surfaces. I'm going to start cleaning those with a rag. Okay, my neighbor supplied me with this new filter from NAPA, part number ATP 1-5645. Here's our filter. Make sure your O-ring is in place. Take a little bit of transmission juice. Just rub it on that O-ring. And we'll pop this guy back in. Like that. Make sure your O-ring's all the way seated. And it is. Okay, I have the pan all nice and clean. Inside and out, about as good as I want to do. Some brake clean. Sprayed it with air. Here's that tip I was talking about right there. So this thing actually, if you wanted to do a full drain and fill on this thing is threaded and just threads out. From underneath, there is a H6. You could unthread this like so. And once that's done, that pulls it out and that lets the fluid completely drain from the pan. Well, no, not true. Only to that point right there. Right there. So, not much more, but it gets you definitely more than what we did, because as you see, that goes in. If you see as this goes in, it's not... Yeah, you're getting a lot more, probably another inch of fluid out of the pan. Thread that in finger tight, make sure it's snug. That'll get your level set right, and we'll put this back on. Got our new gasket. We're going to make sure it goes on the right way. Don't forget our magnets. So the gasket, guys, usually will get held in place by the screws because it's a little smaller than it. It's actually holding that bolt in. It was a pretty nice little feature. So you can basically just go through and pop maybe 4 or 5 of them in and get the gasket set where it's supposed to be. And then start threading those couple on. Final wipe down with a clean rag on the mating surface. There are no spots on here that require RTV, so why put it on? Last thing to really do on the underside besides tightening this drain bolt is to get a torque wrench, set it to 5.5 foot-pounds, and go in a star pattern, crisscross pattern, and tighten these transmission pan bolts. Now, I don't normally freak out about torque specs. This is one that really matters. Pans matter because the gaskets can squish out, and you really need to get a good torque on it to know that it's not going to leak. So get yourself a torque wrench and do it right. I ain't going to show you me doing it all. You know what to do. Do it. That was a lot of tightening and checking, but it's worth it. You don't want to do it twice. You don't want to have drips in your driveway. Spritz of Simple Green on everything. Nice wipe down. You want this to be clean so you can watch for leaks down the road. Also, if you're doing this on a customer's car, you want them to appreciate the work you've done and think that you took good care of their car. The piece de resistance. I have a paint pen. I like to mark the date and the mileage of when the fluid was last changed. That way anybody who goes to service this again has a general idea. You can also write it in the owner's manual. There's usually like a maintenance record log in there. But this is a good spot as any. So really big, ugly, but you won't see it. Who cares? I'm not Picasso. Okay, off camera, I got this transferred into the old measuring jug, and I have about 4 quarts. I lost a little bit on the pour, but ultimately I got 4 quarts. And Eric also picked me up 6 quarts of ATF. Type TLS LV. Low viscosity, I bet, is what that means. I don't know, but hey, guys at Napa said it should be the right one, so why not just throw it in, huh? Okay, guys, here's where it gets a little weird. We're on the driver's side, as you can see. You're obviously going to have your car up in the air, so you'll be able to do this too. Turn your wheel all the way to the driver's side. Take these 2 clips out, hold the splash shield in place. Bend the thing out of the way, and that will expose right here this 24mm plug on the side of the transmission. Driver's side, remember, driver's side. Right there, 24mm plug. Now you're going to get yourself a big freaking 1/2-inch extension mamma jamma so that you can stick it all the way out here and have all the leverage in the world. So you're not fighting for space inside that whole mess right there. So let's see. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. One hand and foot. Let's see. Nope. And there we go, guys. Just a little bit of love. She's out. I'll do it by hand so you can see. It's not that bad once you break her loose. Okay. And there it is. Don't lose your crush washer. Replace your crush washer so that it doesn't leak. Now we need to get a hose that can fit inside that hole. That'll work. So what is this? 3/8 ID vinyl. You can get this at most hardware stores. Make sure you stick that thing in nice and good, as you do not want that coming out as you're filling. So I'm gonna rock it like that, and I'm actually gonna come up and out like this. Don't laugh at me, guys, but here's my setup. Hose in, comes out and around, and I've got this here in case things go awry. I can just dump in. I'll move this, I'll move that jug, and I have my hose actually stuck inside the funnel. We'll see how well that seals. I'm guessing not that well. We'll see. Set that there. Start cracking over. I'll start by cracking open 4 of these because I'm rocking about 4 on there. Keep in mind I lost a little bit pouring it out. So let's go for it. We're going down. I'm not leaking out that bottom part right there. And we're going in there. Right there. And it's not pooping out. And there it goes. Almost a quart down. Okay, last one down the hatch. Oh yeah, baby. Okay guys, she drunk her all up. She ready to go. Remember, 24mm, new washer, Guten tight. Don't crack the aluminum case. I'm dealing with that on my daily driver, 2003 Acura MDX. Someone stripped the transmission drain plug out. So now it's in there by like 1 thread. I'm gonna have to do a thread cert or a thread saver or something. It's aluminum, people. Like this much oomph right here. Watch. Ah. Good, that's it. You don't need to go crazy. Okay, put our splash shield back into place, like so. Grab our 2 pins. Okay, my friends, that is how you change transmission fluid and filter on a 2016 Toyota Rav4. Please like, subscribe, and comment if this helped you out. Thank you, and remember to do hood rat things with your friends. Peace!